So, Troy is coming to Steam at the start of September, and it's bringing with it a massive DLC that brings the mythical world to life with actual monster units and powerful abilities from the gods themselves. We're getting 3 totally new mythical monsters that are coming with unique sets of units, abilities, and buildings. We're getting the Hydra, who brings cultists who have drank the Hydra poison and become maddened and poisonous themselves. They even get a priest who will provide some mythical support. Their playstyle is based around sapping away the enemy long before they come face to face with the big guy. We get the Griffin Patriarch, which brings one-eyed hunters who actually rival the Griffin but can be forced to work together. He's also bringing lesser Griffins who are smaller and less powerful than the Big Daddy. These guys offer a rare aerial superiority and expert ranged units. Finally, we have Cerberus, who is bringing unbreakable ethereal looking units that are the souls of the dead brought back to fight. They only grow in power as more bodies fall in battle. Alongside this, all of the units that were previously the truth behind the myth are becoming fully mythical, so we're getting proper sized Cyclopses, flying harpies, half-man half-horse centaurs, and more. Finally, we will also be getting a cosmetically different map that leans more into the mythic fantasy. This means the gods themselves watching down in battle, and more incredible statues and buildings that would otherwise not be possible. Now, this is all very exciting, but I do have some concerns about this, which I think are important to talk about before we get wrapped up in the excitement. Now, let's go back about a year to the launch of Troy. There was excitement, but there was also a lot of concern about who exactly the game was trying to pander to. They were trying to please historical fans with a setting we hadn't seen before that was grounded in the real world. However, they were also trying to please the fantasy fans with powerful units that weren't exactly from myth, but would surely inspire some. What ended up happening, at least for me, is that the game pleased neither side, and most people that played it ended up abandoning it pretty quickly. Not really because it's a bad game, but because it had a major identity crisis, and committing to neither side ended up alienating both. Fast forward to now, and the game is getting both a game mode that is full fantasy and one that is full historical, and I'm left wondering, why wasn't this in from the start? Don't get me wrong, I understand that games take time to develop, and a game with 2 or even 3 distinct campaigns would take even longer, but you know a game that launched with both a history and a fantasy game mode? 3 Kingdoms. And yes, I know that Troy is a Saga, and so a smaller project with a smaller team. But surely, Big CA with the money printer that is Warhammer and the many DLCs would be able to support this development. And this leads me to my main concern with this move. Troy is finally launching on Steam, and it's launching with all the DLC that it's had so far, available for extra purchase, and even though they are offering large discounts for bundles, it's still extra on top of the base game. What it feels like to me is that Troy was in development for a long time, and CA want to get out a product to justify the continued dev time, so they forced out this in-between game, which they probably knew wouldn't do too well. So they took the Epic Games deal to buy themselves a year to develop what now looks like a more complete game. Again, I have no issue with this, since getting money to continue development is totally understandable. What I have a small issue with is the fact that Steam users are going to need to pay much higher than the base game's cost if they want the complete experience, because let's be honest, without at least the Mythos DLC, you aren't going to get it, especially if you're a fantasy player. Day 1 DLC is a problem for most games, but normally you can ignore it, Wars of Chaos. This Day 1 DLC on Steam is basically essential, and feels like it should have been in the base game to begin with, so it rubs me the wrong way, and I'm sure many Steam users will feel the same. Of course, you can always just buy the DLC on Epic, but as we know, many users refuse to use it for one reason or another, so are forced to pay the premium. Now, let me make myself clear. Looking at this DLC, I am excited, and I feel like I can give Troy another go in this more mythical setting. I don't hide at all that I'm a fantasy player, historical just really doesn't interest me as much in Total War. The content isn't the issue here, because from what I've seen so far, it all looks pretty great. The issue is the business practices going on. You all know I'm a Total War partner, which I value massively, but even so, I feel it's important to voice my concerns before I get to gushing about this new content. I feel it's important that you all know that just because I'm a partner, it doesn't mean that I'm going to back up every decision they do. If they make something that I don't agree with, then I'm going to bring it up to you, because that's just how I feel. Anyway, that about wraps up everything I want to talk about in this video. Let me know in the comments what you think about this upcoming DLC and what you think about my concerns. I'm really interested to know how people are feeling about this, since it can be a bit of a touchy subject. If you want to see more videos like this, and of course coverage on the Mythos DLC coming for Total War Troy, then be sure to subscribe to the channel. I'd like to take this time to thank all supporters of the channel, in particular Kobe Said So for his fantastic support at the Unclean Ones tier. One more time, thank you so very much for watching, and for now, I've been COLONELDAMNEDERS, and I will see you next turn.